Christ almighty, I thought... All right, everybody. It is time to play some Magic. Hold on, it appears my webcam is not working. Let's try, see if I can fix that. Why is that not working there, huh? Well, that's disappointing. Let me see if I can fix this. Interesting. Why are you no longer working, Mr. Webcam? It would be way too easy if everything just worked, right? All right. There I am. All right. Cool. All right. We're sorted. All right. You got a little peek behind the scenes there at how everything's all lined up. All right. So we are playing the Arena Open today, which means it's time for some draft. This is going to be a lot of fun. I am not the best drafter in the world, but it's not often that Arena has this high of a competition for drafting. So we're going to give it a shot. Worst case scenario, we have a good time. Best case scenario, we qualify for day 2. essentially at 5 wins, we make back a little bit of our prize. At 6 wins, we get half our money back, and then the big day is tomorrow. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Crimson Vow draft has been a lot of fun, and so I am eager to see if I can replicate some of the success I had previously and take home the 7 wins we need in order to go to day 2 in the Open to this weekend. All right, we've got a sleeve that I am never going to use. Now, the way that I understand this is that they have set it up so that we're actually drafting with people who are not necessarily in our event, but then we'll play games exclusively against people in the open. So, here, let's see, the Dreadfeast Demon, rather, that's pretty solid. It's a little expensive. The Innocent Traveler is a great card. Skull Scob is a great place to start. Given how powerful Exploit is, I'm actually tempted to start there. The Dreadfeast Demon is very strong, but I don't necessarily know that it's so strong that I want to pick it this early. Whereas the Skull Scob is just an archetype staple. So I'm actually going there. The other thing I'm tempted to buy is a Braid, but we're likely to see more copies of this as it comes around the table. And everything else is kind of just neither here nor there. So we'll go with the Skull Scob. Audric is interesting. It is a decent body for 3/3, and if we get a lot of things with abilities, it can be good. But red-white is not a color combination I have a lot of familiarity with in this format. Fleeting Spirit is extremely powerful, though, so I'm tempted to go that direction, even though it's not really on any of the colors I've looked at in the past as well. Doom Dissenter is solid for the exploit deck, but we're probably going to see at least one more of those go around the table. So I'm going to take this Fleeting Spirit. This card is too hard to pass over. Demonic Bargain, great art, terrible card, especially in Limited, where you're going to lose more than half of your library most of the time. Looking at everything else got here, the Vampire Slayer is okay. It's a Grizzly Bear most of the time. Let's see, Griff Rider, Wolfkin Outcast, Crawling Infestation. There's actually not really a lot here for us, just in general. The Griff Rider is actually not bad. Wolfkin Outcast isn't so bad either. Could also go with the Selhoffen Tumor, which is a potential good draw engine. I think I'm going to take the Griff Rider here. Flying Training is not awful. Soul Cipher Board. I really want this card to be great, but I'm just not convinced it is. I think we're getting cut on black from whoever's picking from our right, though, which is not going to make life easy. Binding Geist is solid. Stitched Assistant is a good card for the exploit deck. I think I'm going to reserve that one just in case. At this point, we're too early to be really stuck into a archetype, but the red cards that I've seen have just not been amazing. But meanwhile, I know that the exploit deck has a super high ceiling, so I may as well just start grabbing from those. Aruth is really, really great. If you draw a card, exile top 2 cards. So it's functionally like, getting a double impulse every turn. Similarly, Herrenblessed Geist is okay. It's not amazing, but it's fine. Militia Rallier, not too worried about it. Chill of the Grave is really nice if we can support it with zombies. At 3 mana, tap a creature, draw a card. It's only just okay. I love Syncopate. Vampire's Kiss is great. That's actually... Nope, it's not as good as I thought it was. I'm going to go with the Ruth. Where I'm seeing a lot of red pass to me, and so maybe maybe we go blue-red instead of blue-black. The Fleeting Spirit is pushing us a little bit toward white, but we're still early enough on where, you know, it's not the end of the world that we haven't committed yet. I will want to start committing soon, but I think whoever this is choking us out of blue-black reasonably hard. Bride's Gown is cute, but I don't know if it's for us. Distracting Geist is actually not bad. Sanctify Serpentine Ambush is interesting. Bloodcrazed Socialite is actually a pretty solid one for us. The Rot-Tide Gargantua wildly overperformed for me last time, so I'm torn between these two. And so, given that we're currently better supporting the exploit deck, I'm going to take this one, but I don't know that that's necessarily right. I'm also not necessarily convinced we're going to go into black hard enough to play a double black spell, but we're going to see. But it's hard not to get excited about a zombie kraken. Sigurd Paladin has very little overlap with the colors that we're in, but it is a strong card. Kindly Ancestor is fine. Alchemist Retrieval is actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna flag that one. I don't necessarily know that we take it, but Wretched Throng, if we go in on it, could be really great. Wedding Invitation. It's not bad. It replaces itself. I think I'm going to take Alchemist Retrieval. It's kind of a removal spell, and you know, I like it. Dawnheart Geist is not really aligned with where we are right now. Siphon Essence is fine if we do go the control-y route. Gutter Skulker is actually pretty good. I'm gonna put that one off to the side. Really, for me, it's between Gutter Skulker and Siphon Essence. Siphon Essence is powerful. At this point, I think I want to make sure we're getting enough creatures, so I'll go with that one. Nurturing Presence. That's interesting. Serpentine Ambush is still good. Syncopate, still really good. I like the Serpentine Ambush as a way to push through damage and potentially be a removal spell if you know, on the defense. I'm not really convinced it's better than anything else we got here, but I'm going to keep it anyway. There's Audric back. Could rare draft that one, which may honestly be about as good as we're going to get. We got with Steel Creature, Lightning Wolf. I don't really like anything in this pack, so I'm just going to take Audric just for the hell of it. Don't think we play it, but why not? Nurturing Presence. Like, we're so far off of playing green at this point that Nurturing Presence has to be the pick. Soul Cipher board is, you know, heck with it. I keep looking at the Soul Cipher board thinking, man, this has to be pretty, you know, has to be good, right? I've never give it a try, so I'm going to give it a try this time. Hamlet Vanguard is really, really good if we were anywhere near playing a green aggro deck. Circle of Confinement is a good white removal card if we do go down the path of white. We're a little bit scattered here, but white and blue seem to be where we're at the most. There's Scattered Thoughts. There's Persistent Specimen, which is not a bad enablement card. I think the Circle of Confinement is the best card in this pack, given that we're almost certainly going to go white with Fleeting Spirit, Circle of Confinement. We've got a bunch of cards in here that don't really fit that theme, but, you know, we're not so at multiple dip that it's such a problem. Here, Cemetery Gatekeeper is an incredible card. I'm going to reserve it just because it's just such a great card, but I don't necessarily know that we're going to be able to play it this draft. Dread Fugue is good if we go black. Brine Comber is probably the best card for the deck that we're building at this point, but Cemetery Gatekeeper is just such a great card. I think the Brinecomber is really where we need to be, though. It's tempting to take the Evolving Wild, but this Brinecomber, if we end up in blue-white, it's just so much value, both sides of it. Cobbled Lancer is tempting because it's such an efficient card that does so many different things. Angelic Quartermaster is solid, considering we're kind of going in that direction. Drawskull Infantry is fine, Unholy Efficient, Deadly Monstrosity. I think it's really between the Quartermaster and the Cobbled Lancer. I think the Cobbled Lancer is the stronger card. I could be wrong. Ooh, rare land, but not what I need for my collection, not helping us here. Geistlight Snare could be decent. We're getting some spirits. I'm going to flag that one just in case. We see Nurturing Presence. We've already got at least one of those, and I really am not convinced I want to go too nuts with this card. Vampire Slayer, Ragged Recluse, Blood Servitor, Ceremonial Ice. Yeah, I think Geistlight Snare has got to be the pick here. It's pretty decent if we can keep on the spirit plan. Bride's Gown, still not really interesting. Chill of the Grave is getting worse for us. Stitched Assistant could still be at least a decent value card, so I'm going to flag that one. The Wanderlight Spirit, it has a little bit too much of a downside for it to be great. The question is it better than Stitched Assistant given everything else in our deck? Aside from the Geistlight Snare, we don't have a ton of specific spirit payoffs, so I think the Stitched Assistance is going to be stronger. Winged Portent. Draw a card for each creature you could with flying. That might be okay, but I don't know that it's really amazing. I'm going to flag it anyway. Valorous Stance is actually almost certainly where we want to be. Skywarp Scob is just fine. Excuse me. Valorous Stance is such a blowout in certain battle combat scenarios that I just got to take it. Adamant Will is not awful. Nurturing Presence, Vampire Slayer, Binding Geist. Binding Geist is not amazing, but maybe it's better just because, like, yeah, the backside of it is potentially pretty interesting. Dig Up is fun. It's not for this deck, but it is fun. Do we take another Serpentine's Ambush or go for the Drawskull Infantry? I feel like the Drawskull Infantry is not bad. I think it's probably better than going for another Serpentine Ambush. This deck is definitely not the best one I've drafted in the past, that's for sure. Nipplgrasp Beguiler is a little too cute. Drawskull Infantry. Take Scattered Thoughts. Yeah, I'll take Scattered Thoughts. Here, Traveling Minister is not bad. I'm tempted to go for the Evolving Wilds, just for fixing. Not sure if it's better than Traveling Minister. I'll go with the Minister. Well, game did it for me. Here, Unholy Efficient's fine. I think gotta go with the Drawskull. Hey. Okay, there we go. That got a little confusing. Cradle Safety. I like that one. At least in the context. Guess we ended up getting a wedding dress anyway. And there's the Dawnheart Geist. Let's do it. Pack 3. Start with another rare that's in green. Not for us. Arm the Cathars. This is potential blowout. I'm going to flag that one down. Bloodsworn Squire. Kindly Ancestor. Interesting. Cigar's Imprisonment. That is actually pretty decent too, as a removal spell. Question is it better than this potential blowout here? I think the blowout potential of Arm the Cathars is a little too high, but I'm hoping that that comes around the table. Whew, excuse me. Alright, we've got Fellstinger, which is solid. Lantern of the Lost, Binding Geist. Flagging here, once your rally, would be great if it didn't have that all that text on it. Unholy Efficient's not bad. Lantern of the Lost. I don't think we end up splashing blank in this deck, so I don't think I can do the other. This deck isn't amazing, or this pack isn't amazing, but I think the Binding Geist is probably the most on theme. Beginning to wish I had taken one of those Dawnhard Geists. Now with all these Disturb cards, it actually would have been pretty decent at this point. Resistance Squad, Herbalist Geist, Alchemist Retrieval. Let's see. It's not awful. Like, Herrenbust Geist is fine. I don't know if Herrenbust Geist is better than Resistance Squad. I'm going to take it Resistance Squad, though. We have some humans. Soul Cipher board. Oh, come on. Griff Rider, Supernatural Rescue. Yeah, I'm going to take the Soul Cipher board. We're going to go in on it, see if we can make it work. Piercing Light's not awful. We are a little low on like real removal, so that's pretty decent. I think the only other thing here really worth considering is the Drogskull Infantry. I don't think that that's really that great. So, well, Piercing Light is not amazing. I think it's better than nothing. Dreadlight Monstrosity could be a really great top-end card. I think it's probably better for us than Sanctify. Wandering Mind is just a legit good card. Nimbleghast Beguiler, really efficient. Could splash red and throw in Wandering Mind and Eruth. I'll take the Unholy Efficient. Fierce Retribution, destroy target attacking. This is actually a solid card for our deck. I think that one's a snap pick. Sometimes it's just a Gideon's Reproach, and other times it's just straight up destroy a creature. I like that. I think here the Traveling Minister is going to help us break up enough combats. The Kindly Ancestor, ooh, maybe Kindly Ancestor. Let's do it. Last second pick. I already have a Traveling Minister, so that's fine. But I guess I did grab a Dawnhard Geist. I didn't realize that. Was not paying enough attention. But I'm just gonna have to hope that the what do you want to call it? The Disturb deck is solid here. The problem is that this format is really bomb dependent, and I did not pull a whole lot of real solid bombs. So that's gonna be a problem. Yeah, that's giving me some pause. Now let's build a deck. Alright, so start by cutting off-color things. I would not have guessed, starting with Skull Scob, that we would have ended up here. But hey, blue-white is very on theme for me. Let's see. Let's go ahead and change the deck art there. Piercing Light's solid. let's see, the things that are probably the weakest. I really like this here. That's going to be good. Sanctify. It's not going to be great. Valor Stance was a good pull. I'm still very happy about that. Cradle of Safety, I actually, I overlook this card a lot, but it's actually not bad. It's a good way to save a creature from removal and just give it a little buff. Serpentine Ambush, I think that probably gets cut. Let's see. Gonna cut like 10 more cards. Supernatural Rescue is only just cute. Gutter Skulker is fine. Binding Geist is probably on the list of things I want to cut some number of. Drogskull Infantry is also pretty weak. Dawnheart Geist is going to work out. Circle of Confinement ended up being a really good pull, so that's good. Bride's Gown. And then Piercing Light's fine. Target minutes, try to miss unholy efficient. Cobble Lancer is still pretty solid. Alchemist Retrieval, unholy efficient. This is on the list of things that is only just okay. Bride's Gown is not amazing. Griff Rider is just okay. Resistance Squad is only just okay. Still like to Arm the Cathars. Geistlight Snare is actually going to turn out to be pretty decent. Stitched Assistant. So here's the thing about Stitched Assistant. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to cut about 2 more cards. So Stitched Assistant is solid for an exploiter, but we don't have a ton of exploit synergies. And I mean, it can get some of these things into the graveyard. Maybe flip a Soul Cipher board more quickly. But let's see. I mean, Nurturing Presence is fine. Don't know that it's really amazing. I mean, it gets us a spirit token, and then the creature... Really, it's pay 2 to get a spirit token, and then occasionally something else will get a boost. So that's probably cut there. Fierce Retribution solid. Dawnheart Geist. Circle of Confinement. Soul Cipher board is probably one of our... I keep trying to make this card work, and I told myself I was going to try it this time, but like looking at it just requires so much setup for a 3/2 flyer. Why did I pick this card? This card's going back in the trash. All right, Curve is looking okay. I think I like Heron Blessed Geist is actually going to be okay, because if they kill it, we're going to have a decent number of enchantments in this deck, so not too bad. I wish we got Sigarda's, the Sigarda's Imprisonment or whatever it's called, but I'm not sad about all these things. The Dreadlight Monstrosity is actually going to be a decent top end card, and it's not impossible that we end up activating that ability either. So let's see what happens if we kill off these cards. Now we're 2 cards short. So I cut too many. So then I gotta bring something back. I think bring back the Binding Geist. Now our Curve is very 3 heavy, which is potentially problematic. But I don't think Soul Cipher board is going to be some incredible 2-drop that's going to offset that. I think we're just going to have to accept that we got to get to 3 mana. So going to have to keep hands that are a little bit more land rich. But yeah, I think this is what we're going to the open with. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Alright, first opponent. Johannes, let's do this. Alright. Oh, off to a great start. Our first hand is completely unplayable. I'd be tempted to keep it if it had 1 island, 1 plains, with 2 islands, and all these white cards. Can't do it. This is worse. Oh my, yay. Are we going to 5 in our first game? Going to 5. Alright, here we go. This counts as a real hand. Jeez. Alright, keep 5. Kindly Ancestor goes to the bottom. And then we keep Brinecomber or Fleeting Spirit. At this point, we don't have enough cards in hand to make Fleeting Spirit work this game, so even though it's a 2-drop, I'm going to keep moving toward Brinecomber. Alright. Let's do this. At least we got some removal as our cheaper cards. For some reason, the game is super loud today. And also not... There we go. That's a little better. Alright, so this is good. I'm going to hide the blue by dropping the plains there. Drawing the 3rd land does make me a little bit happier. Blue-red, interesting. Let's see what our opponent's trying to do. Apparently not enough. Let's go ahead and bring out Brinecomber. It's a nice 2-body pair here. And if they remove it, then I will go ahead and enchant the token with the Brinebound Gift. And that'll be good. In this case, like, if you're ever in this situation, the correct answer is to kill the token, because if exactly what I was just talking about is that letting me enchant the token with the backside of Brinecomber is strictly worse than just killing the token and accepting that I have a Brinecomber for a little longer. Wanderlight Spirit, not bad, not bad. At this point, it's not really clear what my role is going to have to be here, but I need to keep things going. I'm going to go ahead and just snag this Wanderlight Spirit, since it can block most of my stuff, and just start getting in some damage. We've got a Piercing Light in case they bring out something else. I could have let it, or because it's a 3 toughness, Piercing Light isn't going to do anything to it. But we get there. Investigator's Journal. Move a suspect counter from it, draw it. Not bad, not bad. I like that card. I think it's a little early to go nuts with Arm the Cathars, so just keep attacking. In turn. Would love to draw another creature. It is fun looking at the deck lists for these draft decks, because like there's just so many like one-ofs that like it's hard to even really think of the odds as anything real. All right, so a 3/3 for 2. It does not have flying, so I can punch through with the little guy here. Alternatively, this could be where I use Arm the Cathars to push some damage through. I think it's probably too early for that. This is a sorcery. Alternatively, I could attack with both and use Piercing Light if they decide to get too crazy about it. And then I'll lose my Brinecomber, but I'll be able to enchant the spirit back. Flame Blast Bolt. If that creature would, Planeswalker would die. Ooh, this is tough. Considerably less tough because I have Eyesight Snare. Hooray! Knew that card would pay off. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Macy. That is not worth putting the Brinecomer in the graveyard. I really like this card. Like, it's simple, it's clean, and it's it making 2 bodies when it comes down, and then 2 bodies on its reverse side. It's just a good card. All right, Screaming Swarm. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures, target players mill that many cards. 3 mana, put Screaming Swarm from your graveyard into your library, second from the top. That is something. We're actually almost at the point of Dreadlight Monstrosity, so that's cool. Interesting. So I could arm the Cathars and use that to punch through here. Give +3 to Brinecomer, and then let's see what I can get. So +3 to this, +2 to this. I really want to incentivize. No, I can't double up. I really want to incentivize them to block inefficiently on the Brinecomer, because whether or not they go with a Steelclad Spear or the Screaming Swarm, I want them to be worried here. And so here, this is pretty good. I won't get to double up with the Brinecomer this turn. Cradle of Safety is going to be good. I like that. Because I don't have that extra mana, but it'd be good. I mean, given that this was a 5-card hand, this isn't going poorly. But I do need this Spirit Token to survive into next turn. Screaming Swarm is going to come back. Well, soon. Alright, cool. So the nice thing about this Cradle of Safety is that it means that I can Brinecomer and then give this Hexproof if they try to remove it at instant speed. Which it looks like they're going to try. So I'm going to do this. It's kind of a shame that I won't get to get the extra token from the Brinebound Gift, but okay, wow, that was a blowout in half. But hey, look at it this way. If I could draw a land, then I'll be able to activate Dreadlight Monstrosity's ability. That is not a land. So now I'm in trouble. Like, this is kind of the thing that I was worried about with going to 5, is just like being a little bit too short on just action. And that's not really great. Okay. So, at least I have a way to, like, stem the bleeding a bit. Let's see, where... I want to stop at the beginning of Declare Attackers. Why can't I set a stop there? Alright, apparently I can't set a stop in combat. Why show phases? Okay. There we go. Stop. Stop before. Okay. The way it's... So there is technically an enter combat step where I should be able to... I should, in theory, be able to stop them before they actually attack. But, oh well. Now, the thing about this, it's kind of unfortunate, is that I'm going to save myself 4 life, but unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to properly syncopate this, so... Alright, well, At least my 6-drop's coming down. It's got Ward 2, so it'll be a slightly harder to kill, but still not ideal. If they've got a bounce spell, they're gonna be able to get through the Ward 2. Exactly like that. Yeah. Oh boy, Steelclad Spirit. That Valorous stance would have been really good. Cobble Lancer is solid here, but I think they're down to 1 card. I think Dreadlight Monstrosity is how I close this game, because I can make it unblockable and attack twice. Hopefully. Having said I mean, I got them on a 2-turn clock. They got us on a 3-turn clock. Kind of got to hope for the best here. At this point, I have enough mana to Cobble Lancer and Dreadlight Monstrosity, so that's good. One of the ways that I lose is that they turn on the Steelclad Spirits, and let me just make sure that I end up with 1 extra blue. One of the ways that I lose is that they get to turn on the Steelclad Spirits and then just crack me back for the win next turn. So I will exile a Stitched Assistant. I don't think it really matters, but Cobble Lancer at least trades with a Steelclad Spirit if they turn it on, so that's good. Given that we went to 5, like, the fact that this is not impossible to win is pretty good. We've been a little bit everything screwed, but our opponent has been flooding out, which has done us some favors for sure. All right. This is basically it. So let's activate this and just kind of hope for the best. And there we go. Got there on a mold of 5. Ooh, I did not expect that to work, but you know, if Read Open's got to start on a real nail biter, may as well. I'm still waiting to see what bombs my opponents have in store. So, oh, killed a creature, so there we go. So for anybody who is unaware here, we need to get to 7 wins without losing 3 times. So as long as we can go 7-2 or better, we can get to day 2. Which I've done before. I don't necessarily know that this deck will get us there, but it's possible. Alright, Thasta, good luck. This hand isn't incredible, but it is considerably better than the one from last game. It's got removal, it's got some stuff. I think I keep it. Hope I draw some useful things. As it is, at least the Stitched Distance can help us filter through the deck. So this will be good. We'll see if the Dawnheart Geist helps us get where we need to go life-wise. Wouldn't mind a little bit less land here. So the question is, do I drop Stitched Assistant as an attacker, let it exploit itself? I think the real answer is I sit on it, try to get in the Gutter Skulker, and then, you know, if I need to drop it, I can sacrifice the Gutter Skulker, and then the Disturb will be really useful. But as it is, the Valorous Stance being left up is still pretty valuable. Sorry. Spore Crawler. That is indeed a card. Stronger than you expect from a Spore. So that stymies our attacks. Oh my gosh, can we draw just a hair fewer lands? Gutter Skulker is a decent draw here. We're going to end up taking some pain from the Spore Crawler, but at the very least, we can push some damage through without too much worry. I'm going to go ahead and take that 3. Ouch. Herrenbless Geist is not the worst thing we've drawn here. I'm going to start off by just... Is there any possibility of a flash feature? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and get for 4. We're not going to block the Spore Crawler anyway. It's way too much value for them for that to be worth it. Let's drop the Herrenbless Geist. If we do start getting down some of our auras, then Herrenbless Geist is good even from the graveyard. But it looks like they want to make this a race, and, you know, that's not bad. Ooh, 4/4 vampire, and gosh, if we could just stop drawing lands, that would be great. Now the nice thing here is that we can answer this very cleanly. Get rid of a 4/4 menace. Don't want to see that. Tempted to just drop the Stitched Assistant as a 3/2, because if they want to race, like, we're doing all right in this race. The alternative is to use it as a draw spell. Let's see, how much is it to just 4 to disturb this and it just imbues itself? I think it's better as a 3/3. I'm just going to bring in the Stitched Assistant and not exploit. Giving up some value, but whew, yikes. Alright, Flourishing Hunter changes this math a non-trivial amount. Getting 6 life there, that was rough. Amongst other creatures. Okay, so they didn't. Let's just take 3. We're doing... Oh, jeez, last game we were stuck on lands. This game we can't stop drawing lands. Alright, so I think the answer here is that I punch in with Herrenbless Geist and keep back my other dudes on defense. I want to make it difficult for him to challenge me with the Flourishing Hunter. Because here, I mean, it's 6/6. The question is, do they have a way to blow me out here? And all right, so let's think about what happens here. So let's say they drop another creature. I can crack back for probably at least 6, maybe 7, if I just take the 6 here. I don't think they're going to be able to push through enough damage to make that worthwhile. I'm just going to take it. Because, like, as it stands, you know, they drop another block. They have to drop multiple blockers in order to survive another turn or gain some life or something. Because, like, it's not quite good enough as it is. So if we just attack all out here, I assume they block either the 3/2 or the 3/3. They still take 7. Like, there is a chance of a blowout, but, and like, I feel like they must have done this math, but we've got the Traveling Minister. You know what? I'm going to make him have it. This is probably going to lose us the game, but I'm going to make him have it. Okay. That's actually really not that bad because I can use the Gutter Skulker as an enchantment and gain some life back off the Dawnheart Geist. Okay. So, I mean, that's how they're going to survive. That's fine. Because now they're going to draw a card. 8 mana, so I can't Dawnheart Geist as well. Activate only if you control an enchantment, so I don't have this enchantment yet, but I can Traveling Minister just as a chump blocker, and then Gutter Skulker on the Stitched Assistant gain 2 life, which helps hedge against potential blowouts. And now Stitched Assistant threatens lethal again. So, like, you know, they did prevent themselves from dying, but I don't think that that was a huge blowout. And now, as long as the Stitch Assistant remains enchanted, then, excuse me, the Heron Blessed Geist lets me create a few more spirits. Creepy Puppeteer. Okay. If you attack with exactly one other creature this comment, you may have that creature's base power and toughness become 4/3. They're clearly not going to do that. I don't think I care. 1 blocker. Okay, there we go. Alright, alright. They had it. Good game. Oh, alright. We came very close there, guys, but we flooded out pretty bad, and they had the way to give trample there. Oof. Alright. Run it back. It's draft, so I don't really have any other options, I suppose. I think I just got a message from Tyler about getting the final options. Cool. We're getting some new art for the channel, so that's good. Can you send link again? Cool. All right, so back here. So we've got 2 lands, a bunch of stuff. A lot of it is castable off 2 lands, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. I would have been okay with the Syncopate being another land, but Fleeting Spirit's going to get us there, hopefully. So we're going to start off with white. Nice thing, like Fleeting Spirit's second ability can also let us like skip to the disturb parts of the spirits, but what's important is that you don't want to enchant him with the disturbed, because that's no good. But they're going to find that, especially with Cradle of Safety in my hand, this Fleeting Spirit is going to be quite difficult to kill. Alright, so it is first strike as long as it's attacking, no problem. Fierce Retribution means that they are going to have to try a lot harder. Piercing Light is also going to help us here. I think we just start trying to poke through. They're going to be like, oh, no worries, we'll just block it with our Celebrant. And I'll be like, just kidding, mate. I'll take a 3rd land. That is a good scry at the top. They do get a blood token, but that's okay. Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. Let's see. Sacrifice it. Target creature sacrifice number. Okay, so courtesy of Fleeting Spirit being pretty boss, I am still not too worried about any of that. Let's see. Am I going to be able to attack through that? So it has to be an attacking creature for Fierce Retribution to work. Question is, do I leave up Surrey Cradle of Safety? Probably not. Maybe get the Kindly Ancestor out. Lets me not have Syncopate or Fierce Retribution up. This is actually kind of difficult. So I think I'm going to commit the Ancestor to the board. I don't know that this is right. Because, you know, it's not really clear that we should be the beatdown at this point, but I think that if I let them get too far ahead on the board, it's not going to end well for me, and like Syncopate and whatnot is going to be difficult. Now, this is a case where I kind of get punished a little bit, because this is a very strong card, but Fierce Retribution is going to make sure that it's not too bad. In a perfect world, I'll get them to sacrifice all their blood tokens and be done with life. I don't have to worry about it. But if they attack with this Blood Tithe Harvester, I will happily snap off a block with Kindly Ancestor. They're not having it, so that's fine. Binding Geist is not very exciting, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm not going to attack here. Again, now I'm at a point where I've at least got some options. Again, I really want them to go way too hard on this Blood Crazed Socialite. They do have to sacrifice the Blood Tithe Harvester if they want to use its ability. Oh, that is... Ooh, that's nasty. I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot about that. Alright, well, that's getting resolved, I guess. Interesting. Okay. It's not quite how I hoped that would go. But, you know, it happens. Alright. How many are you going to sacrifice? Better than nothing. Destroy target attacking creature. Boom. That being said, this Blood Tithe Harvester is going to continue to be a problem. Gluttonous Guest is also not great for us. Blood Fountain. Jeez, they are all in on blood, huh? Yeah. Let's see. Sacrifice a Blood Fountain, return 2 target. Oof. Oof, that's nasty. They nasty. Alright, my turn. 4 mana is not bad. Gutter Skulker, which is fine. I think this is tough. Kindly Ancestor on Fleeting Spirit isn't particularly great because it'll because if I have to blink the Fleeting Spirit, I won't get to keep the stuff. Critical Safety is only just okay. My graveyard has 3 things in it. I have to get rid of the Kindly Ancestor, but I can go first striking for the turn. Which needs me to leave up at least 1 mana. Needs to be a white mana too. I think a pass. Leave up Syncopate and Cradle of Safety. Maybe they don't read Fleeting Spirit and they don't realize what it's capable of doing. Okay. I'll pass to blockers. Let's see. I'll activate its first ability. Exile 1, 2, 3. Do it first strike. That was pretty good. As far as trades go. Falkenrath Celebrants. I do not want to see that on the board. Alright. That's pretty much all we could have hoped for, I suppose. This, they drafted just such a good vampire deck. But now they're down to 1 card in hand. I'm feeling pretty good where we are. At this point, the Binding Geist is just going to end up being a just a regular old attacker. We want to leave up Cradle of Safety. So we'll go down with this. Go in and attack with the Fleeting Spirit. And end turn. In combat, if you control 3 or more creatures that each have toughness greater than the power, transform catapult fodder. Oh, that's less than ideal. Fortunately, don't know that I'm going to be able to do much about that. As to attackers. Yikes. Alright. So, Fleeting Spirit is going to be difficult to push through with here. But that was, as far as things rip off the top, that's not bad, because if they can continue to get through with it, that's fine. But the Gutter Skulker here is actually pretty solid. I'm kind of just wishing I had used it sooner, I suppose. Binding Geist is just meat. Block, or not block, rather. At this point, if they have a way to remove Gutter Skulker, I will happily... Ooh. Alright, so that's not what you want to see. So them getting to functionally refill their hand is not ideal, but... so attackers... This is where having the Cradle Safety is going to be pretty useful. So I'm going to Stitched Assistant here, and sack the Binding Geist, because Binding Geist is not great. Put this other Stitched Assistant to the bottom. I need something better than that. I need something flying, ideally. That isn't something with flying, but now I can enchant the Blood Tithe Harvester. No, I want to enchant the Menacey thing just to keep things clear. They're gonna drop it next turn, and like in reality, enchanting the Menace thing is not an amazing play by any means. The Bloodgray Socialite, because it can just pump itself like crazy, but better than nothing. Man, they drafted just such an incredible deck. Like, so many vampire synergies. So many. Alright. That is still not what you wanted to see. Now, the issue... This is where it's going to be challenging. So, like, giving this -2, -0 isn't really going to do a whole lot in terms of... like preventing it from pushing through damage. However, what it is going to do is make this thing transform, and so that's not ideal. So yeah, now the nice thing is that I'll have to toss away a Stitched Assistant, but I could potentially make the Fleeting Spirit just like a perpetual blocker. But Gutter Skulker will push some damage through. Fleeting Spirit being able to blink is going to at least keep the Bloodgray Socialite from getting too crazy. Yeah, man. Synergy.deck. Gonna end up having to ride this Gutter Skulker to victory. Ooh, he's Gladness Guess. Problem, oh man, because when they attack with this Bloodgray Socialite, when they attack with this Bloodgray Socialite, they're going to be able to gain so much life and push through potentially so much damage. It's just incredible. So okay, so they do have to decide before blocks how far in on this they're gonna go. Jeez. Honestly, my biggest chance of winning is just that they mill themselves out by drawing with too many blood tokens. Past the blockers. So I got a 5/5. So put 2 duders in front of him. Let's see, do I let the Fleeting Spirit die in the hopes that, well, because they're going to try to Blood Tithe Harvester. Oh, they can only activate it as a sorcery, so they can't do that. Do I give up on the Fleeting Spirit? Maybe I do. Yeah, let's see what happens. That feels not great. Heron Blessed Geist makes this at least a little bit better. Next. Push through some damage. I don't see us winning this one. This Catapult Captain is going to be surprisingly effective at closing this out. But it's been a pretty good game regardless. See that? Critical safety. Boom. Now they can Blood Tithe Harbor the Gutter Skulker, but okay. Well, that's not the worst. Keep gumming up the board. And in this case, I guess I'll swing through with the bigger thing now. I don't see this Heron Blessed Geist living forever, but no. Now the upside is I do think I'm going to Binding Geist on the, has to be another creature. I'm going to Binding Geist on this so that when they kill my Heron Blessed Geist, I can use its ability from the graveyard. I almost put on the Blood Tithe Harvester because it has the most power, but importantly is that they can sacrifice and then I lose all of that. So this makes that a lot less problematic. But making 2 more 1/1s, like, I've just got to push through damage faster than they can draw things with big butts. That's all I can do. See some folks popping in through the channel. Hope everyone's doing all right today. We are streaming as opposed to the normal video, but with the arena open, you know, got to do it live, you know. Got to do it live. Oof. Catapult fodder is not what you wanted to see. That's going to flip again. Another Blood Crazed Socialite. Yikes. Alright. That is good. Alright. So, Heron Blessed Geist, we're going to make a couple duders. And then, so now we've gummed up the board. Whoops, sorry about that. Pretty effectively. We got some flyers. We got something unblockable. This Catapult Captain is still threatening like 14 damage, so that's not great. But Alchemist Retrieval is going to mean that we can at least continue to keep this Blood Crazed Socialite at least at bay. It's not going to be forever, but we don't have to give up all of our tokens quite yet. Attacking with Gutter Skulker is our highest damage play at this point, so that's what we'll do. It also leaves it the most blockers. Getting this Brine Comer in the graveyard is also going to be very helpful because it is much more useful as excuse me, as a enchantment than as a creature. Still kind of banking on them milling themselves, but I think we're going to be dealing with damage a lot sooner than we're going to be dealing with milling. Alright, let them go as far in on this as they want. Resolve. So, the question here is, do I take this opportunity to throw the brine comber in front of it and potentially get them to sacrifice more blood tokens next turn? Because I mean, them sacrificing blood tokens isn't exactly a great outcome for us because they gain 2 life every time, but brine comber being in the yard, I mean, it's, well, let me think about that, because that's kind of net, because I'm gonna have to give up a token and I'll make a token. Doesn't actually, okay, so it doesn't actually get us too much here. I do want to stop then and make sure I alchemist retrieval before damage. Now, they could catapult captain it, but I don't think they're going to. They're going to. They've got to have some way in hand to get it back then, right? Okay. I mean, this is still rough because they're still threatening a lot of damage on board, but I didn't expect them to do that in response. Like, that's pretty good for us. Dreadlight Monstrosity is excellent for us here. So we still want to, like, it's 3 damage in the air or 3 damage unblockable. Go with 3 damage unblockable in this case. Next turn, if we can turn on the Dreadlight Monstrosity, then, you know, that's even better. They're sacrificing the Gluttonous Guest. Interesting. Okay. Okay, there they go. They're going to be able to push through all the damage that way. I mean, good game. Good game. Yeah. Their deck was just so well drafted. The amount of synergy that they had was just incredible. Wow. I've never been particularly worried about Catapult Captain, but now we're at the point where if we lose, we're out. I've got enough gems stashed up to do another one, and so if we go out this quickly, I might go ahead and draft another deck, because like, as much as I like the deck we drafted here, it is not the strongest one I could have gone with, and so it would do well to go again. And oh, this is rough. It's actually not an awful hand. The issue is that it doesn't do anything until turn 4, or until turn 3, so it just needs to draw white mana, but I don't think I can keep this. This is better. This is better. Not incredibly better, but it is better. I'm going to keep 6. Put the Dreadlight Monstrosity to the bottom. Probably means I don't actually ever see it again, but oh well. Alright. Fleeting Spirit is a good draw, because now it's a very aggressive card that is very difficult to kill. So I'm happy about that. Hungry Ridgewolf. That is a thing. Attacker, my turn. Alright. Here, I can go with Stitch Assistant. I could Fleeting there. I can't activate its first strike ability yet, so may as well go ahead and get this online. It means that the Harem Blessed Geist will eventually be able to use its ability. Don't think that that's super relevant yet, but if my opponent wants to throw down aggressive creatures, I will continue to do that. This deck probably doesn't need to be running Syncopate now that I've played it a bit more, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and punch in for some damage. Let's see. Because here, the issue is I can leave up Syncopate, but really, I just want to keep building on my board, because if I can hit for 6 next turn, and then Stitched Assistant, sack the Biting Geist, and get its ability to pop off, this is much better on the backside, like much better. I mean, it's still not incredible, but it is better as something you would chain your opponents with, as opposed to this sort of like one-off -2, -0. Like, its front side is just a derpy 3/1, but the back side is like, you know, a decent limited card. Interesting. Okay. Hokan Mariner. Back side of that is pretty intimidating. Okay. Arm the Cathars is very solid. Wish it were an instant. So, what do we do here? I kind of wish I left up Syncopate now that we talk about it like that, because like this thing, I have ways to deal with this in the deck, but not a lot of amazing ways. Luckily, blinking this the Fleeting Spirit means that it's going to be very hard for them to push damage through this, but I do need to cast something this turn. The Arm the Cathars, I can push through a bunch of damage and they get Vigilance. That's... Alternatively, I could just Stitched Assistant and try to pull a removal spell. That's probably the better call, because then I can have Binding Geist up next turn to get some value from. That's not a removal spell, but I'll take... No, I need to draw a Valorous Stance. I gotta land anyway. Alright, well, whatever. And I won't attack. Let's see. If they attack here... So one of the things I can do is I can threaten... I can do the Blinky block and threaten with Heron Blessed Geist from the graveyard next turn, which is not the worst, because I can discard it and cast it for 4. Is that really... I think actually the answer here, they're almost certainly going to flip their card anyway, so I think what I really want to do is... I mean, I don't want to take 4, but I think the best call... Oh, geez. Yikes. 2 of them. That's rough. Okay, so they're not flipping this next turn, but I guess Binding Geist is going to get in, make this guy a little bit smaller. So at least one of them's not that rough. And then question is here... It's going to be a long time before I make this first strike, not that it matters, but... not that... Like, this is all just kind of staving off the inevitable anyway. So, if I arm the Cathars, I can push through a non-trivial amount of damage. That's cool. That's really about all it does. Syncopate lets me potentially stop them from having yet another gosh darn Hokan Mariner. Not ideal. Not ideal. Something tells me this is the end of my first run through the Arena Open. Yikes. Going 1-3 is not ideal. Not ideal. They're gonna get in for 4. They're thinking about attacking with the other one, which is kind of free. If they attack there, then I get to start racing, which isn't... Okay. So I'm going to take the 6. It's going to hurt. But yeah, starting next turn, I get to arm the catheters, push through a bunch of damage. Hopefully a bunch of damage. That's not great. I can't syncopate that. I don't have quite enough mana to. But, so yeah, they're getting themselves ill-tempered loner, I guess. Alright, my turn. Traveling Minister. Great. +3/+3 goes here. +2/+2, and then nobody gets +1/+1. What do they got? Three damage. Hey, something I can syncopate. Finally, the card has some value. All right. I mean, still not in great shape. This is... Alright, so what they're going to do is they're going to try to... Oh, they're going to do it directly to my face. Okay, that's not ideal, but I can't do anything about that. Alright. I mean, at this, I have to block this turn, but let's see. So yeah, so anyway, so past the blockers, Fleeing Spirit. Well, yeah, I have two things in my graveyard anyway. And take the 2. Hope that they don't have a pump spell. And that's probably the play here, because like my perfect situation is I can crack back for some damage. So I do 1 blocker, and then I discard the Herrenblessed Geist to blink it. Now if they have trample, then I'm in trouble. They did not. That is not ideal. Okay. Plains. Exile to create some critters. Down a Traveling Minister. Now, that was actually a mistake. I should have left the Minister in hand so that I could discard it to the Fleeting Spirit so I could keep blinking it. But your boy is not very smart, so he did not do that. The name of the game this turn is Chump Block. And that's the end of it, folks. Yeah. Yeah, it's over. I'm not going to let them draw it out. They can play with their food if they want. Alright, so that didn't go how I'd hoped. But, yeah, okay. Well, claim my prize, I suppose. Which is apparently just a very quiet move through. Alright, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I think I didn't promise my wife that I'd take the kids back for at least another hour, so let's go ahead and embarrass ourselves again. Alright. Cool. Alright, let's draw and draft a little bit better this time. Alchemist's Gambit is cute, but probably not good enough for limited. The Lamont Raconteur, a lot of red cards here. This card is a house. I think that that's my pull. Plead Dry is solid, but it's going to come back around, or at least I hope it will. Let's see. Magma Pummeler. Yeah, I think the Blood Tithe Harvester is a pretty big slam dunk there. It pushes us pretty hard color-wise, but I've watched it be really, really good. So that's enough for me. Now, Ballista Watcher is actually pretty solid. It's either that or Arm the Cathars, which is also good, but I don't necessarily know that that's where I want to be right now. Everything else in this pack is kind of neither here nor there, so keep the Ballista Watcher. Twin Blade Geist, that is actually pretty solid. It's not the color pair we're looking at just yet, but I'm not sad about it. There's that Hook-Hand Mariner that just got us. It's pretty good, but don't know that's worth taking yet. I don't know that we end up playing this Twin Blade Geist, but especially being able to give some of these bigger things double strike is pretty good. Oh, there it is again. But in this case, instead of taking another one, I think the Valorous Stance is much better, especially if we end up in white again. But I think we're getting cut off black and red again, because like I'm just seeing a lot of white come through. Not ideal. Not ideal. Go for one of the red commons, but Valorous Stance is probably the strongest card in that pack. So give it a shot. I mean, in Crimson Vow Limited, the blue-black deck and the black-red vampires are both really, really solid, so I'm not surprised that they're being taken pretty preferentially, but this is okay. Beginning of your end step, if you gain life, this create a blood token, so that's true for both of them. Then it drains out. If we end up in white again, then the Fleeting Spirit does pretty well, but I think the Restless Bloodseeker is pretty good, and if we end up being able to prioritize blood, then I'm going to be glad I had it. I would like to play the black-red deck. It seems pretty strong. Oh man, yeah, you can tell exactly what the people who are right are taking, because all we're seeing are white and green cards. Occasionally some blue stuff. Here, I don't know, man. I think it's Arm the Cathars again, but I don't. No, we could do Honored Heirloom. It's a Mana Rock. I don't know. That's great. I don't know. That's better than Arm the Cathars, but I don't know. At least it is potentially some graveyard hate, which is pretty good. Gluttonous Guest is solid. Ragged Recluse is fine. But yeah, Gluttonous Guest is hard to turn down, especially if we continue on the blood theme. Hopefully in pack 2 we'll be able to snag a little more of that, because like the person to our left has to be getting even less. So this is fine for the blood that it creates. The Ragged Recluse is probably a little bit better. Especially the blood will be able to transform it reasonably often, and so that's actually probably the better card here. Like Vampire's Kiss is only just okay. It's basically just make a bunch of blood tokens, and I don't know that that's good enough. The Desperate Farmer is actually pretty solid. As a 2/2 lifelinker for 3, it's only okay, but then, you know, if we get anything with Exploit, then we can turn it into a 4/3 pretty easily. This is back to our first hand here. The Howl of Phalanx is really good if you can get the cannon zombie that we saw previously. I don't really like any of these cards, but I guess I'll take another Honored Heirloom. Don't see us playing anything from that pack. Persistent specimen rather. It's not amazing, but if we end up going the sacrifice energies, and it's fine. Guess I'll take the Unhallowed Phalanx. If we end up getting the cannon zombie, whatever the name of that is, then this is pretty solid. Here, yeah, take that, but I don't think we play it. Again, there we go. Welcoming Vampire is really good if we want to go that direction. Ballista Watcher is also very good. Honeymoon Hearse is fine. Boarded Window. The rest of the pack is not incredible. This is better in the like sort of Edgar tokeny vampire deck, and it hurts me to pass it. But I'm going to take the Ballista Watcher because I think that for the black-red deck, it's probably a little bit stronger. Ooh, Path of Peril. Oh, I love that card so much. This is like one of my favorite cards in the set. Mostly for Constructed. I don't actually know that it's amazing here. I think the real pick here is Doom Dissenter, ironically enough. I have 4 copies of Path of Peril, so I don't need to rare draft it. Getting both the Brideground and the Groom's Finery in the same pack is kind of funny. If we were running a more controlling deck, the Path of Peril would be great, but I think the Doom Dissenter, ironically, is the best card for us in this pack. Oh, lots of good stuff there. Desperate Farmer is pretty decent. Point of Discussion is actually not awful. It's either that or another Desperate Farm hand, which is not a bad plan. Because like as a Sign in Blood that happens to make a blood token, I don't mind this at all. Question is whether or not the Desperate Farmer is the better pick right now. I'm gonna go with the Farmer actually. I don't know if that was the right call, but we'll see. Graph Reaver is way above the curve. It's not great in this format where you're not going to be able to use this exploit effectively very often, but we can use it to flip the farmers a lot more easily. Oh, but the Bloodcrazed Socialite. This is a tough call. Bloodcrazed Socialite works better with a blood theme. Obviously, Graph Reaver is just a house. I think I've got to take the Socialite because like that is going to be the winning card much more often here. Doom Dissenter is almost certainly the play here. Tempted to take the Grisly Ritual because being able to destroy target creature is great, but 6 mana is a lot to do that. So let's go there. We do need to get some removal at some point. Blood Fountain is solid. Courier Bat is okay. I think Blood Fountain is better here, though. Basically, I'm trying to build the deck of that last guy who got... Ooh! Catapult Zombie. Catapult. This one, I gotta, like, actually look at the deck and see how often we'll be able to flip it. But, you know, given that we've got the Unhallowed Phalanx, there's a non-zero chance that we just 13 someone for 3. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it just to build that other person's deck. This card is solid. A 1/3 for 4 isn't great, but if they flip it, I actually don't know that that's amazing. I'm gonna take. Don't know what the right call is here. This is not. I'm gonna take the Innocent Traveler. I'm gonna assume that the Unhallowed Phalanx is gonna come back, and I don't actually know that we want to play that many of those. Interesting. That's not amazing. It is very flavorful. Mind Leech Ghoul is actually not awful for its exploit. Groom's Finery. I mean, fine. Groom's Finery, I guess. There's the Point of Discussion coming back, so I guess maybe rewarded. I don't know. Take the Heirloom. Definitely not playing 3 of them. I don't even know that we're playing one of them. But we're at that point of the draft. All right, pack 3. Overcharged Amalgam is such a good card, but I don't know that it's for this deck. Circle of Confinement also really good, not for this. I think Hero's Downfall is a snap pick here, as probably the premium removal spell from the set. I want this Overcharged Amalgam so bad, but we are so far from playing blue that, especially double blue, like a different life. Take the Hero's Downfall. That's the card we need. We need more like just straight removal. All right. Restless Bloodseeker is solid here. Kessig Wolf Rider's not really for this deck, I don't think. Point of discussion, that's fine. Yeah, it's Restless Bloodseeker. Demonic Bargain, again, amazing art. Awful card. Bloodsworn Squire is actually not awful. I think that's... I don't remember seeing this card, but apparently I got its card style probably from the Mastery Tree. It's either that or Mind Leech Ghoul, but like a 3/3, I mean, albeit for 4, but pretty difficult to kill card. I'll take it. I wish Vampire's Kiss was 2 damage to any target, but oh well. Courier Bat's kind of cute. Actually, what am I doing? Vampire's Vengeance is so good here. We're basically mono black splash red, but Vampire's Vengeance is just so good. If we want to do the splash white after all, we could do that. But the Gift of Fangs is actually pretty good here as a removal spell / way to push damage in. Like, if we really could justify splashing white and red, then that would be great, but I don't think we could take a Boros colored card without getting severely punished by our mana base. Edgar's Awakening. Interesting. It's actually not awful. We'll take Visionary. Is actually playable too, but probably not for this deck. So the question is, do I want the 5 mana, potentially get a creature back, or do I want the Voltaic Visionary? That will potentially get us some more cards. It's much more aggressive. I actually think that's the one. Okay, here we go. Mind Leech Ghoul is solid. I mean, Blood Servitor is fine, but I like the exploit for Mind Leech Ghoul. Maybe the Blood Servitor was the right call, but we'll get there. Wonder if I'm going to get that second Hallowed Phalanx back, but whether or not we do, I hope I get to live the dream of 13ing our opponents. Markov Retribution is actually not awful. It's a fight spell for Vamps. I'll take it. For the head, exile target zombie. That's fine. Persistent Specimen. Don't know that we keep it in the deck, but seems decent. I like this deck much more than the last one. We don't really have any real bombs per se, but it's a lot better. I don't know that we play it tonight, but at least it's on color. Take the uncommon, why not? And the Festivities at least playful, or playable rather. So as the fear, I think we're more likely to play the Fearful Villager, but I think we've got enough dudes. Take the uncommon for the gems. And then we got a Shield Basher. Alright. So Black-red. I feel better about this deck, but not like amazingly so. enough that, like, let's see. Got a random greens card. There's a mulch. Okay. So Groom's Findery can go. Like this deck has a lot of potential, that's for sure. So I want to go ahead and first just make sure. So I'm just gonna put my removal over here just to make sure that I've kept enough. Which I don't know that we actually have a ton. But I mean, we got some things, so that's something. Voltaic Visionary, Blood Tithe Harvester can also act as a removal spell. I suppose we need to cut like 9 cards. 9 cards. Fearful Villager is not good enough. 3 Honored Heirlooms are very easy to cut. The Unhallowed Phalanx is almost certainly not actually worth the spot in the deck, except that with Catapult Fodder, it could just win the game on the spot. Into the Night is not where we want to be with this deck. So Blood Fountain is, I mean, that has a lot of potential. So that is not to be underestimated. And then Persistent Specimen is only just okay. I think if we were more of the exploit deck, I would keep it in, but the way it is, it's just not quite there. I don't mind the Voltaic Visionary. Restless Bloodseeker's good. The Ragged Recluse can push through some damage. With the blood tokens, that's how we're going to do most of our discarding. Mind Leech Ghoul, Dude in the Center, Cannibal Fire, Desperate Farmer. I think Pointed Discussion goes. This is potentially a removal spell. I think it's probably our weakest one. Ballista Watcher. I think Ballista Watcher, we want to at least go down 1. Because, like, it's okay. It's an okay card. It's the only double red card in the deck, and we are otherwise, like, very heavily black. So it's going to be the one that we struggle to cast the most often. So going down 1 there doesn't feel awful. It's either that or the Markov Retribution, and like Markov Retribution is not amazing. I'm not gonna say that it's, you know, top notch or anything, but at the very least, you know, you get to choose both, and so you could potentially use this to, like, you know, push through a lot of damage out of nowhere. But it does have to be target vampire, and like we have, let's see, 6 vampires. That's actually not as many as I expected. But, you know, enough that it'll be a fight spell reasonably often. And when it's not, at least it's an anthem. I don't know that there's anything out of what we cut that I would like more than that. I mean, the Fearful Villager is fine, but it's not really super helpful. Our curve is pretty low, and we've got plenty of creatures, so I am thinking that this is probably just fine. I'm going to run it and see what happens. Actually, if you look at it this way, we got a lot more removal than I anticipated, and so let's hope it's better. All right. You can see the old deck up there, but now it's been updated. Yachty. Good luck, sir. All right. I wouldn't mind a mountain, but all things considered, like, this is reasonably solid. We do need to draw another land, but hopefully we'll get there. This has enough upside that hopefully we'll be able to get there sooner than later. If I could draw like a mountain off the top, considering that our opponent's going first, that would like bring my blood pressure down significantly. The upside is that if we don't, Blood Fountain makes us blood, which we can use to discard probably this Innocent Traveler, and use that to get to, hopefully, another land. Alright. Blue-green. Alright, we got to our third land. Still wouldn't mind a red, but again, we're only splashing red, so it's not the end of the world if it takes its time, I hope. We're just going to draw nothing but red cards from here on out, I guarantee it. Excuse me. Come on, Yachty. Say hello. I wonder if they're actually, like, truly Bant, or if they're just splashing one of these colors. But running the Godzilla lands in draft is a real good move. I never noticed these little Deuteroonies over here. Dorothea. Oof. Yeah, we're going to want some removal for that ASAP. Yikes. Well, we're about to take a pretty big hit. I love Dorothea, and like the back half of Dorothea is build your own Geist of Saint draft, so there's a lot to like there. Holy mackerel, 4 colors. Jeez, and there's got another Godzilla land. This is going to be interesting for sure. So, I mean, it really depends on what their follow-up is, because Dorothea doesn't do a whole lot unless you have... Oh, okay, and of all the things to follow up a Dorothea with, like, that's not, like, incredible. Ask for a mountain? I got a mountain. Play the Gluttonous Guest. Makes me some more blood, and then... it happens to block the Fleeting Spirit pretty effectively, so they might still be able to attack into it if they've got Pump. But the Fleeting Spirit, like as we saw in like the last draft, is that like enchanting it is not ideal. Unhallowed Phalanx, we're there, boys. Okay, at the beginning of your upkeep, your opponent may sacrifice a creature. If no one does, transform it. My opponent now has humans, so that's actually not a bad play. Bloodcrazed Socialite is pretty solid here because of everything going on there. I think I'll play the Innocent Traveler and ask them if they've got it. Okay. So we're still at a point where like they're going to be able to push some damage. Well, maybe, because they have to attack with both. If they want to start discarding cards, that's fine. But like the Dorothea on the Militia Rallier is going to be more challenging. Because I can block the Militia Rallier safely, but the Angel or a Spirit in the air, the 4/4 Spirit it creates is tough. Come on. What are you thinking about, Yachty? I don't know, you're running a 4-color deck, so I get it. You got a lot of decisions to make. Interesting. Would you like to sacrifice a creature? No? Okay, well now it's big and scary. Alright. So here... So I can play the Desperate Farmer. If it flips, it's pretty good. The Bloodcrazed Socialite is also solid here. I'm really kind of tempted to just drop the Phalanx. Because it's... I don't know, it's big and fat, and it'll block on the ground forever, but I don't really think that, I mean, especially since it comes in tapped, I don't know that it's the best play there. I think the Bloodcrazed Socialite's a good enough call here. This traveling minister is going to be a problem, but we are officially racing, so malicious invader is going to have to go do some work. Nice thing is we can at least gain some life back with Gluttonous Guest. And if we have to chump block, Blood Fountain will let us recover from that. And at this point, if they put Dorothea on pretty much anything, I am happy to kill whatever it is. They don't have enough in their graveyard to be able to make Fleeting Spirit first strikey, so I don't know what they're hoping to accomplish by making it a 4-1 other than to make it trade with Gluttonous Guest, which seems less great. Okay. Again, if they enchant the Militia Rallier, I'll happily snap off that block there. So they can only +1/+0 as a sorcery, so it's not super exciting. I think I make them think about their, like, they're probably gonna blink, but make them do it. Let's see, do I want to gain the 1 life while I have the chance? No, I want to threaten more damage, Blood Cray, Social. So the question, ooh, if you'll gain life, okay. Ooh, well, they've actually got some good stuff going on, don't they? They need to draw removal. So, I mean, yeah. Oh, they're trying to gain life. That's what they're hoping to accomplish there. My turn. Don't need more lands deck. Yikes. Yikes with a side of yikes. I've got 6 mana. This is... The Heron of Hope is actually going to be shockingly problematic. Gonna play this. Don't know what I'm hoping for there, but we'll see. The problem here is now they're going to put Dorothea on the Heron of Hope, and that's going to make me wish I had not attacked with this Malicious Invader. But yeah, see, there's Dorothea. So we're gonna hit first. Oh gosh, that was a little bit of a misplay on my part. I should have left the Malicious Invader open because, like, I can always get it back. But now I have to deal with a big fat attacker, not just once but twice. So all right, just 16. This ain't great. We can trade with the Militia Rallier, which I think I have to offer. It doesn't feel great, but again, Blood Fountain will eventually get them back, so. Okay. Wait, what? I blocked. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I was trying to block it. I wanted to block it. Oh, cripes. Alright, well, let's see if we can draw something good. That ain't it. Alright, so we've got 6 mana up. So I can either Ragged Recluse, Bloodsworn Squire, Bloodsworn Squire. I can't do a whole lot just yet. I mean, I can block the ground creatures for days, which is fine. I can Ragged Recluse, Desperate Farmer, and then flip the Recluse. I think that's probably the right call there. But yeah. Whoa. There's my mouse. Let's do this. Probably the Bloodsworn Squire is pretty good, but I don't know that it's going to be good enough. No attacks. Now I get a witch. Alright. Oh, this is... Yeah, good game. Yeah. Let me see, I'll go ahead and I'll give them the BM GG. I didn't actually think about it. Like I needed to block that militia rallier because like I needed enough life to be able to absorb even if they didn't have the abrade there, I need to be able to absorb the damage from that. There we go. Oh, cool. My level for the day. Cool. Well, at least we'll have some things to open once I finish losing out. Got maybe 25 minutes left in the stream at most. So, you know, a little bit more time to have things go right. Jesus. I have been just having the worst opening hands. Like, come on, deck. I've never mulliganed this much in my life. Yeah, this is fine. Think Bloodsworn Squire probably needs the most setup. Yikes. I think I want to, this is going to be kind of a weird play, but I want to set up the Desperate Farmer into Mind Leech Ghoul to try to flip the farmer. Wretched Throng. Did they draw, or did they draft successfully the double Mind Leech Ghoul? That's not bad. Did they draft the Exploit deck? Because the Exploit deck is real good. Real good. But they did not appear to draft more than one Wretched Throng, so who knows. Alright. There we go. Wretched Ghoul. So play this. And then we'll Mind Leech Ghoul. Exploit itself. Cool. There we go. Now we got the big Chonkosaurus. They're going to... Okay. I assume they'll have a basic land to discard. That card's pretty good in draft, honestly. Like, you're much more basic land heavy in draft than you are in constructed, so it's a much better pull here. Now to use mana, do we want to make them discard again, or do we want to Ragged Recluse? I think it's going to be a while before we discard. Well, let's go ahead and see what happens when I attack. That'll inform me a little bit. I think I'll go ahead and do this. Just get something interesting on the board. If we can get a blood token, then we're in pretty good shape. Otherwise, it's just a 2-1. Interesting. Okay, Diagraph Scavenger. A lot. Okay, well, here's a thing that's going to be pretty good. Not going to be able to transform the Ragged Recluse, but we'll be able to pile the zombos. They did pull more than one Wretched Throng, but they just already had it in hand. So, if I attack with Depraved Harvester, they're going to kind of have to wrath themselves a little bit. It's not a great look for me to just go ahead and toss this, but I'm going to go ahead and try to press the advantage, because at this point I'm like sitting on enough yeah, see, like So you think, but I'm pretty far ahead on life, and I've got enough going on the board here. It'd be better when I transform the Ragged Recluse, but like at the end of the day, I've got enough of a board advantage where I can afford to lose that. And next turn, the Innocent Traveler is going to come out and be okay. They turn into a 3/3 flyer, and if they happen to have a human, which they don't yet, then it's going to get even better. Ooh, interesting. Blood Tithe Harvester. I could use this to flip the Recluse, which is... They'd have to wrath their board to not get punked by that. Alternatively, the Innocent Traveler is just straight gas right now. Let's make them make tough decisions. The Innocent Traveler is going to the yard. Hero's Downfall is good. Oh, that's right. It's at the end step that you transform you. That's fine. Let's throw these guys out there. If they want to trade, fine. Oh, it's when it dies they get to search. I mean, they still don't have any more copies, apparently, but it's when it dies. Okay. Okay. +1/+1 flying. All right. They're thinking quite hard. These transforming sleeves are strange. Doom Dissenter, okay. I'll keep the pressure on. Then go to combat. I am probably going to regret oh, yikes. Oh, they didn't exploit. Okay. Well, I do regret not keeping that Hero's Downfall, but it's not the end of the world yet. 3/3, 2/2. All right. Yeah. Okay. They've got the bigger butt, but if they they're at the point where they can't really do much attacking. They're just, well, I guess they can. That'll be a question. So, all right. So they can put it in the air, and that'll be tough. But they got the exploit deck, which is pretty good. I haven't seen a lot that's too terrifying out of it yet, but Lantern Bearer will make the Raw Tiger Gargantua a real clock for sure. Lister Watcher. That's going to be pretty good. If I can get it to flip, then it can allow me to push through some damage. But never mind. They saw that. All right. Come on, Daddy needs some blood. That's a weird sentence. I'm never going to say that out loud again. Okay. Getting back Hero's Downfall is solid.